You're listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires, where we talk retirement, building wealth, and outrageous generosity. Jennifer is in Washington, D.C. to start off this hour. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call today.
Our pleasure. How can we help?
First of all, so I want to thank you guys, number one, for everything you do. It's awesome. I just love your show, and I've been listening for a couple years, kind of off and on. I wish I knew about you 20 years ago. But, hey, at least I do now, and I'm doing better.
Good.
So right now, so I'm 47. My husband's 54. We're both working full time. We owe right now about $377,000 on our house. We have no other debt, so we have everything else is paid. We are putting 15% for retirement.
Good.
We do have a good amount in our 529 for our two kids. So we have a 19-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Wonderful.
So we have about $70,000 for the 19-year-old and about 20 so far for the 6-year-old. It's sitting pretty well. So my question for you is, I've talked my husband into close to it anyway. Of hey, let's just pay our house, right? So number one, I think that's the way to go. But then, how quickly do we do that? And then, or do I do that and mutual funds? Or that's where I'm kind of struggling. Do we just dump everything into the house, or do we look at maybe mutual funds as well, or not look at that till after the house is paid?
Do you mean above your 15%, Jennifer?
Exactly. Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Well, again, the baby steps are there, right? So 15% of your income into retirement. You said your kid's college is there. So I would throw everything else at the house. How much do you guys make?
Okay. We make so after taxes, a month, it's about $14,000. So we do pretty well.
Okay.
And I don't want to work forever. I want to retire early. My husband thinks I'm crazy, but I just want to get the house done. But because I had kind of figured out a plan. I said, hey, we can pay it in like 6 or 7 years doing the math. But do I not do the math, or just say, kind of dump as much as we have left over? Or that's where I'm struggling. I'm a finance person for my job, and I'm kind of like, I want the calculation how to do that.
Well, what we talk about is up through baby step 3, which you're through that. You have to be intense. You have to be intense. You do nothing until you get those steps done, out of debt, and have your emergency fund in place. And then when you move into baby steps 4, 5, and 6, those are simultaneous, and you move from intense to intentional. And what that means is you're going to set, you're a finance person, so let's just set a formula to this. There's 3 things we can do with money. We can give it, be generous with it, and you should. You can enjoy it, and you should. That's lifestyle and purchases and so forth. And we should invest it, and you should. And so paying off your home here is an investment type move. So the point is, if you dump every little single thing out of your whole life and you have absolutely no life until you get the house paid off, that is not our recommendation.
Okay.
That's not intentional. That's intense. Now, if you had a bunch of credit card debt, I would do that. I'd set your hair on fire till you get this done, right? But this is not, here we're just going to be intentional. So we're going to do our 15% of our income into retirement. No more investing other than that, other than if you're going to do something to supplement the kids' college, and you may need to do a little of that. And then beyond that, money that we find, every dollar we consume on a trip or a car purchase or a consumption means we don't reduce the house. And every dollar we put on the house means we don't enjoy that money today. We're going to enjoy that money later. Okay? So you don't want to do all of either. In other words, enjoy it all and put nothing extra on the house. Bad idea. But put so much on the house that the budget is so tight that it's no fun. Bad idea. And so I would set myself budgets for lifestyle inside of your existing monthly budget, and then just say any extra, we're going to throw it at the debt. And right now that looks like $5,000 a month. That looks like $6,000 a month, whatever it is, until we get the house paid off. Now, when the house is paid off, that's baby step 7. Then you max out all your mutual fund, all your retirement accounts. And you increase your outrageous generosity at that point, and you increase your outrageous enjoyment. of money at that point, because then you've hit, that's the touchdown. Now you do the touchdown dance. So Rachel's exactly right. Whatever found money, if we want to go back to our old econ class, disposable income that we have beyond our basic investments, beyond our basic living and enjoyment of money, every dollar we can find beyond that, I'm going to throw it at the house because I want to get it done as fast as I can without putting my family in a strain. And I'm going to say with the numbers you've got, it's probably about a 5-year mark you're going to be done.
And what happens too, the one of the reasons that's in the baby steps versus just living with the mortgage for 30 years like most people do, is because once you have no payments, then you have suddenly have so many options, Jennifer. I mean, you said you wanted to retire early, and that's not crazy if you got a paid for house and no bills. I mean,
yeah,
sure.
And by then you will have substantial investments as well.
Yes, absolutely. So it just opens up a whole other level. I mean, obviously getting out of debt, consumer debt does that, but when you don't have a mortgage, not even a house payment, it's like tenfold. It just gives you so many options. And so I don't think you're crazy for wanting to retire early, Jennifer. I think it's great.
No, yeah, get it paid off as fast as you can without
sacrificing your life.
Pinching down on everything to the point nobody can breathe.
Yes.
And that's what now, if you can't breathe in baby steps 1 through 3, you're doing it right. I mean, you need to be wild on that one. You need to be in panic mode. You don't have an emergency fund. You got a bunch of car debt, student loan debt, credit card debt, and that kind of stuff. That's when you're a normal American and you have a mess and you need to clean up your normal because normal sucks. But that's not where you are. You've moved from that intense section of 1 through 3 to intentional. And this is where baby step millionaires are born. They get the home paid off. Last hour we had a debt-free call, or a debt-free scream here in the audience, and they're 39 years old with an $800,000 paid for.
Oh yeah, 39. Yeah.
Before they're 40.
Yes.
And they paid off an $800,000 house in Austin, Texas.
Yep.
And we didn't ask them details about their investments, but their investments are well in excess of $200,000. So they are not even 40, and they're millionaires. Why? They've exactly followed what I just outlined for the last 5 minutes with her. This idea of intensity until you're debt free and have the emergency fund, then intentionality, 15% of your income into retirement. Kids' college is addressed, and baby step 6, pay off the house with any disposable extra income we can squeeze out of our budget and throw at it without putting the family in some kind of a ridiculous strain.
Yep, absolutely.
And you'll do it in 5 years. You really will.
And it's enjoyable that way.
Yeah, and you just wake up and you go, well, there it is. I did it. There it is. I did it. That's how it works. Thanks for tuning into Ramsey Everyday Millionaires. To check out all our podcasts, just search Ramsey Network on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.